Olympia was the first bodybuilder I actually saw. And I told my brother, who was about 12 years older than me, I said, I want to look like this guy. And he looked at me and said, are you crazy? I said, why would you want to look like that? The guy's got like muscles in his feet. I said, well, that's how I want to look too. And I do have muscles in my feet too. I probably have the ugliest feet alive. Treacherous feet, they call me. So I knew I didn't want to work on the farm my whole life. My brothers actually did concrete work, so I was forced to actually work a lot. I started working at about 11 years old. I spent my school vacations, weekends, after school working in the family business, and I think that's really what gave me the backbone of what it takes to be a top bodybuilder nowadays, is the discipline to get up every day and do that, because I hated it. I used to pray every morning, please get me through this day, because I hated it so much. And I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do my whole life. I mean, I had a decision, it seemed to be what everyone did back where I grew up. They either worked on farms, worked construction. So I decided to join the gym my 18th birthday to pursue my dream to be bigger. And I didn't realize it would come so quickly. I put on about 50 pounds my first year of training. I was going to college, actually to pursue a degree in criminal justice. I wanted to be a police officer. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be a cop. I got to be kind of jacked up, So started training, and I'd go home between classes. I would eat my way to sleep. I remember I just had a lot of time to kill, which I wasn't used to, because I was used to work in the family business. So I was going to college, and I was working part-time security. I always seemed to pick the part-time jobs that allowed me to be able to eat. I remember when I'd go on my security job, I'd have my Jeep at the time, and I was guarding this building, and I said, okay, how can I work this so I can get all my meals and everything? So I remember I used to bring an extension cord with me to work, and I'd park my Jeep in the corner in the parking lot, and I'd plug an extension cord into the wall, and I had a microwave, a TV, a VCR, and a heater, all plugged into my extension cord, and I'd sit in my Jeep and I'd eat meals and watch movies. Then once the supervisor would come, I'd have to stash all my stuff. I'd put a blanket over it, pretend I'm walking around a lot. And needless to say, that job ended, and I moved on to the golf course job. Probably to this day, my favorite job besides being a professional bodybuilder. So I'd get out there on the golf course. They'd say, oh, I think you're going to mow greens by hands this morning. And I'd say, no, I'm not. And at the time I was about 240, so they'd say, okay, you're not going to mow greens this morning by hand. You're going to have to ride the track. And I said, okay, that's more like me. So I'd bring my cooler, I'd strap my cooler onto the machine, and I'd head out on the golf course about 4:30 in the morning, wait for the sun to come up, find a nice place to park my machine, and I'd eat my meals for the day. So that was how I gained most of my weight very quickly, because I just ate like crazy. I had everything I could, mainly chicken and pasta. And I was in the gym training, and a lot of people approached me and they said, oh, you should be a bodybuilder. I said, all right, I'm starting to get a physique, I should do that. So I competed in a local show, placed second, my first contest, and the rest is kind of history. I became a teenage national champion at 19, best in the country. Actually, lost the overall title to a guy named Brandon Warren, a lot of you guys are familiar with. He beat me in the overall. He's still a lot smaller than me, but he still beat me because he was better conditioned. But that was the point where I said, okay, I'm going to pursue my life as a professional bodybuilder. So I took a trip to California, watched a lot of guys train and kind of learned. Read a lot of magazines, read a lot of books, did as much research as I could to try to find the best knowledge I could, and came back, won the tournament champions at 22, which is a show here. I actually flew all the way from Massachusetts, financing my way along the way. I didn't have much money. I remember driving, my beat-up car to the gym, and I didn't care as long as I could afford my food for the day and be able to train. And, I won that Tournament of Champions in 1995. That's where I basically hit kind of the big time. I landed my first cover of Muscle and Fitness. I met, the father of bodybuilding, Joe Weider. He offered me a contract, and here I am starting to make money in what I love to do. So I earned my professional status in '96 and moved on from there. And of course, won 300 Classics, Night of Champions, run up at the Olympia. I hate to say 4 times because it's very frustrating for me, but luckily it wasn't 5, and now holding the ultimate title. So how I got there, it was through a lot of trial and error. Even as a professional bodybuilder, a lot of you guys must think, well, Jay Cutler's at the top of his game. He must know his body inside and out, but that's very far from the truth. Every year, we actually prepare truly a different way. There's been a lot of shows where I've eaten all sorts of carbohydrates, all sorts of proteins. I've done no cardio. I've done 3 hours of cardio. The last couple of years is really kind of where I landed my place in what I do for preparation. 2005, 2006 Mr. Olympia. And, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about a little bit with my approach with my training, my diet, because it seems to be what's holding me steady on top right now. When I was here in 2004, I was, getting up in the middle of the night, doing cardiovascular. Any of you guys here for my 2004 seminar? So I was doing a crazy thing to win the Arnold Classic that year. I was trying to trick my body into doing different things. But now I'm basically living, somewhat of a normal life. I hate to call bodybuilding normal because it really isn't. And I eat, right now I'm in the off season, I eat anywhere between 8 to 10 meals a day. I eat every 2 hours, trying to get in about between 400 and 450 grams of protein. I weigh almost 300 pounds. I'm 295 today. I compete about 270 for the contest. And my carbohydrates average between 800 to 1,200 carbs a day, which seems like an outrageous amount, but for my body weight, is that a lot? It's alright, you can laugh, dude. I laughed at your outfit when you came in. But I'm a big believer in carbohydrates for getting big. Right now, I'm pretty lean conditioned. I've actually been doing cardio at least 3 times a week, half hour in the morning on empty stomach. And I'm weight training at least, 5 days, 6 days a week. Right now, I'm kind of listening to my body, just doing at least 1 to 2 body parts a day. I train sometimes twice a day, once a day. It just depends on my schedule. I travel every weekend, so it's very, very difficult. But the routine I suggest to everyone is train each body part literally probably, at least once every 5 to 7 days. Okay, some guys train, each body part twice a week, but I've always trained each body part once every 5 to 7 days. And I find the best result for that. I think you need at least 72 hours rest between body parts. So if you're going to do your body parts twice, that could work. But I find for me, if I try to train twice a week, I get overtrained. Even sleeping, I sleep at least 8 to 10 hours a day. Sometimes I take naps during the day. Of course, now, with my schedule, it's very difficult to do. But I sleep at least 8 hours through the night. I get up about 6 o'clock every morning. I eat at least 1 meal before I go to the gym. Usually train in the morning, somewhere around 10 o'clock. Large body part. And then I go back home, eat a meal, run some errands, eat another meal, then I go back and train again. I try to take 5 hours in between the body parts if I train twice a day. Okay, you always got to take at least 5 hours between body parts. My training's usually only about an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. I usually spend an hour on each body part. You really should be able to get through a body part in no more than 1 hour. You should be able to blast through things in probably 45 minutes. I take anywhere between 45 to